Welcome to this important video. In this video, we are going to discuss Python exceptions handling in detail. Since we are going to discuss exception handling, so let me review what are exceptions. You can see from our previous video in detail as well. Our exceptions are the errors that occur in Python due to our wrong logic, and whenever they are encountered, then the program is terminated. So we need to find an alternate solution or an alternate path so that our program can be completely executed. So what are the effects of exceptions? Here are given that Python has many built-in exceptions that are raised and that warn us whenever our program encounters an error. So when these exceptions occur, the Python interpreter stops the current process and uh, passes it to the next calling process until it is handled. So if it will not be handled, then the program will crash or terminate it. So how to handle the exceptions? So we can handle the exceptions in such a way that the program does not crash or does not terminate. So for this reason, we use a statement we use a block which is called try block or try statement. So the critical operation which can raise an exception is placed inside a try clause, which means anything which can lead to an exception is written inside a try clause, or the main code is written in our try block. However, we use another block which is called except. This block will handle the exception. So if anything or any exception occurs from try block, then it will be forwarded to the accept clause, and then any statement written here will be executed. So in this way it can be handled. Let me do it here an example that you can see here. Here are two blocks given, two clauses given. First is try clause, in which we are going to divide two numbers, and we will store the result and we will print the result. And next is except clause. So if the exception occurs, like if there is an error, then we will print here that the denominator cannot be 0. So in this way, this process will be finished and there will be no error at the output. So let me do it at my code as well, since you it gets clear to you and easier to you. So what I will do here, you can see here from the code that we will write here uh, first without try, so that it gets clear to you. I'm going to save a is equal to 0, a is equal to 3, b is equal to 0. I'm going to divide these two values, a divided by b, and if I want to print the result of this value, then I will write print div. So I will run this code. As soon as I run this code, then you can see here at the output there is an error and the program has not been completed. So in order to overcome this issue, I will generate here a try block, and then I will write here a call an accept block. So accept block will only be executed when there will be an error. So let's suppose here is an error. So what will it do? It will we can even print here denominator cannot be 0, please. Okay. And even we can use the value of b again, and we can allow the user to input the value, enter the value of denominator again. Okay, so it will again divide a over b, and now it will print divide. So here we have handled it carefully. Let me run this code. You will see here. So as soon as we can see here, in case of we if since we have created a block, so we need to put indentation, which are spaces, at the start just after the try, which will show that these statements are under the try block. Similarly, we have to put the spaces under the except block as well, which show these are under except block. So we will run this code. As soon as we run this code, you can see here, since the value of b is 0, so instead of error, it has given us a warning from except block, which is called denominator cannot be 0, and next line has been executed that enter the value of denominator again. We will put here the value of denominator again, which is 2, and it will divide it and it will give us a new result. So this is the way how does an alternate block is executed in case of an error. Okay, next we can see from other type as well. Okay, here is another case of exception in which we have made two except blocks. What type of blocks are used when we have different type of exceptions? For example, you can see here there is an option in which this error can be an error in which there will be a zero division error. So in case of zero division error, we can even specify an except block with zero division error that if this error occurs, then this block should be executed. And here is an other part of code in which we are going to enter the index and we want to display. But if there is a wrong index, then this error, this except block will be executed. So if we want to manage our program in such a way that there are more than one type of error and we want to specify that if first error occurs, then which block should be executed, and if second error occurs, then which block should be executed, then we'll do this type of coding. So let me do it at my program, at my software. So what will I do? I will make here a list at my PyCharm. Here is, I will make here another code, write some code as well. Here I will specify the list, and the list is written inside the square brackets. So I will write here computer, some subjects like computer, physics, English. Here are some subjects which have been written. Okay, I will ask the user to please allow the user to please enter the index, which entry we want to show, index of entry from list. And next, what will we do? We will print the required entry is, and we can display here list dot I. So let me check it from the code as well. In this way we can display the result. So however, if the index does not exist, then we can move it to the other block. So I will mention here this except block is only executed when there is zero division error. And similarly, next we can use another block when there is an index error, then this block will be executed, index error. So let me clear here that Python is case sensitive. We must be careful about this, the spellings of zero division error, since it is already stored in Python. So what will we do? We will print here wrong index. Index is out of range. So I'm not going to do further steps as well in this code so that it gets clear to you. Okay. Okay, so please you can see here at the code that here are two different errors that can be occurred. First error can be occurred when the denominator is 0. So let's suppose we put the denominator other than 0. Then first except block will not be executed because it is only executed when there is zero division error. And next type you can see here, here we have given a list, and if the indexing is made in such a way that it starts from 0 and ends to the final value. For example, index of computer will be 0, index of physics will be 1, and index of English will be 2. So let me execute this code. So I'm going to run this code main, and it has shown the result, because you can see here in the first few lines the denominator is not 0, so the result has been displayed. But in the next line it is asking for entering the index of entry, so I am writing here index 2. So it will also display me the required entry, since I have written an index which is from the given range. Now I will run this code again to show enter here an index which is out of range. So in this case, an alternate message has been displayed that index is out of range, because you can see here the index is out of range, which is except from index error, this part has been executed. So in this way we can make more than one exceptions or more than one except clause when there are more than one errors to be occurred. However, we can also make only one except clause. Thank you so much. That was for so far now. Please stay with us for upcoming video, and do not hesitate to ask any question if you have comments. Otherwise, leave your valuable feedback. Thank you.